Xanatus has just altered its entire physical structure, a transformation so dramatic that it is completely unprecedented in modern astrophysics. The event was captured by NASA's James Webb Space Telescope just 14 hours ago, and what we are witnessing right now is something that has never been seen before in the vast expanse of our universe. Hello and welcome. Today, it's April 4th, 2026, and I'm about to tell you something that will completely challenge everything we thought we knew about space. In my years studying theoretical physics, I have never encountered a phenomenon like this. This event changes everything. 14 hours ago, NASA's Near-Earth Object Observations Program recorded a massive shift in a celestial body known as 3 Atlas. The data coming in has stunned experts around the world. This object, once thought to be a simple icy comet, has demonstrated a transformation so improbable that it carries only a 0.00001% chance of occurring naturally. Picture this: a 4.2 kilometer wide object hurtling through space at unimaginable speeds, suddenly reorganizing its mass into a mathematically perfect shape, a perfect torus, a donut-like structure. This is not a random event, not a chaotic fracture. No, what we are seeing defies all the basic laws of physics we have come to accept. To put this into perspective, let's imagine the object moving 180 million kilometers from Earth, traveling through the vacuum of space. Right now, as we speak, the dense core of this object has hollowed itself out. The outer shell has expanded, forming a continuous unbroken ring. It's almost as if this object is being intentionally engineered. Now, that idea alone raises a number of serious questions. Why would a comet, something we assumed was simply a cold, icy remnant from the early solar system, change itself like this? What could cause this transformation, and more importantly, how could it occur in such an impossibly precise manner? Celestial bodies of this mass simply don't do this. Gravity, the fundamental force that shapes our universe, dictates that mass should either clump together into a spherical shape or break apart in chaotic, irregular fragments. But 3 Atlas didn't break. It didn't shatter. Instead, it morphed. It stretched evenly along a 360-degree axis, maintaining a perfect orbital spin without losing a single fragment to the surrounding void. Even the European Space Agency, through its Gaia spacecraft, verified the data with an internal alert, which is an extremely rare occurrence. When institutions of that magnitude sound the alarm, we must pay attention. The implications of this are staggering. If 3 Atlas is a natural object, then it completely overturns our understanding of planetary science, thermodynamics, and structural mechanics in a vacuum. We have always assumed that comets are nothing more than dirty snowballs, simple, chaotic chunks of ice and rock left over from the formation of our solar system. But what if 3 Atlas is not just a comet? What if we are looking at something entirely different, something that might just challenge everything we know about the universe? The most perplexing part of this transformation is the thermal impossibility of what is happening. To create a perfect torus shape from a solid mass would require an immense amount of controlled energy distributed perfectly across the object's surface to prevent chaotic fragmentation. But here's the thing: this is happening naturally. The thermal event responsible for this formation is far too precise to be a random occurrence. The odds of a natural event carving a perfect hole through the exact center of a moving body are so astronomically low, they're almost beyond comprehension, roughly 1 inch 8.9 billion. Yet, here we are, with sophisticated telescopes locked in on 3 Atlas, and the absolute impossibility of this physical shape is staring us right in the face. But what's even more strange is what happened next. This event isn't just about a celestial body forming an impossible shape, it's about a much deeper mystery that defies our basic understanding of physics. Stay with me, because the story is only going to get stranger from here. As we continue to monitor the data, the mystery of 3 Atlas grows even more baffling. Let's pause for a moment and consider the facts as we know them. On April 2, 2026, at exactly 412 UTC, NASA's James Webb Space Telescope, utilizing its near-infrared camera, recorded an unprecedented spike in internal pressure within the object. The core temperature of 3 Atlas increased by 412 degrees Kelvin in less than 7 minutes. Imagine, if you will, a frozen balloon that suddenly inflates from the inside out, except this isn't happening in an atmosphere. It's occurring in the vacuum of space, where such rapid pressurization should have caused the exterior to shatter into a billion fragments. But this didn't happen. The object's icy crust expanded symmetrically, uniformly, as though it were being meticulously inflated from within. This is not what we expect from a comet, or any celestial object for that matter. This is where the data takes a truly strange turn. 3 independent sources confirm this unusual phenomenon. First, NASA's James Webb Space Telescope detected the massive spike in internal pressure. Then, the European Space Agency, using the Gaia spacecraft, independently verified the exact dimensional changes down to the millimeter. And finally, the Atacama Large Millimeter Array in Chile cross-referenced this data with radio frequencies, finding the exact same result. 3 separate observatories, using 3 different methodologies, all came to the same conclusion. The core of 3 Atlas was actively hollowing itself out. It's as if the laws of physics themselves are being rewritten in real time. Let that sink in. A celestial object 240 million kilometers away is changing its geometry. But that's not all. By April 3, 2026, at 1422 UTC, the expansion of the object reached a critical threshold. The poles of 3 Atlas depressed inward, converging at the exact center, while the equator expanded outward. The physical structure of the object stabilized at a diameter of exactly 4.23 kilometers, with a central aperture measuring precisely 1.61 kilometers across. This is the kind of precision that is simply beyond comprehension. The ratio between the outer diameter and the inner void is mathematically flawless. This level of accuracy shouldn't be possible under normal celestial conditions, yet the data is irrefutable. To put it another way, imagine a spinning mass in a vacuum. Normally, if this object were to experience core vaporization, it should leave behind a chaotic trail of debris extending hundreds of thousands of kilometers in all directions. But that's not what happened here. 3 Atlas didn't eject mass into space. Instead, the material was redistributed in a highly organized, controlled manner. The local space around 3 Atlas remained completely pristine. There was no debris, no fragmentation, just an incredibly stable, symmetrical expansion. Now, let's talk about the object's rotation. Prior to the transformation, 3 Atlas was tumbling through space with a rotation period of 14.3 hours per cycle. This was a chaotic spin, as expected from a rogue comet. But then, something incredible happened. The newly formed torus structure suddenly stabilized. The rotation rate shifted to exactly 7.15 hours per cycle. The object's spin became perfectly stable, like a gyroscope, an impossibility for any natural body. It's as though this object, once an unstable, irregular mass, suddenly became a perfectly balanced, spinning top. Imagine a lump of clay on a potter's wheel, suddenly molding itself into a perfect bowl without the potter's hands ever touching it. Now, scale that up by a factor of billions, and you have what's happening with 3 Atlas. This is a cosmic phenomenon so extraordinary that even renowned experts like Dr. Avi Loeb at Harvard, who has spent decades analyzing interstellar anomalies, have been left stunned by the sheer magnitude of what we're witnessing. And when someone of Dr. Loeb's caliber expresses profound bewilderment, you know this is something beyond ordinary physics. At this point, the implications are starting to become clear. 3 Atlas is no longer behaving like a simple comet. It is undergoing a transformation that defies all known models of cometary evolution. The data is so out of line with our expectations that the scientific community is forced to reassess everything we thought we knew about celestial bodies. And we're not even close to the end of this mystery. As we dig deeper into the data from 3 Atlas, things are about to take a turn for the even more bizarre. By April 3, 2026, something happened that defied all expectations. At exactly 1944 UTC, NASA's Deep Space Network Antenna, DSS-43, detected an anomaly unlike anything we had predicted. This new data was not accounted for in any of our models. To put it simply, this was the kind of observation that scientists don't prepare for. This was not just an unexpected shift in the object's structure, it was something far more concerning. 3 Atlas, once simply coasting along its hyperbolic trajectory, was now actively fighting the gravitational pull of our sun. It was no longer following a predictable path. The physics behind this was completely incomprehensible. The object was accelerating, but here's the kicker, there was no apparent source of thrust. Comets usually accelerate when they heat up, releasing gas and dust through sublimation. This process acts like a tiny rocket thruster, pushing the object forward. But 3 Atlas was not venting any gas. There was no trace of water vapor, carbon monoxide, or silicate dust surrounding it. Nothing. No outgassing. And yet, despite this, the object was accelerating. NASA's James Webb Space Telescope's mid-infrared instrument confirmed that there was zero outflow from the object. This was a classic case of non-gravitational acceleration without the typical propellant. The object was accelerating at a rate of 14.2 meters per second squared. Unbelievable, and completely against everything we understand about celestial mechanics. Let's break this down a little further. We are talking about an object with a mass of 33 billion tons, and it is accelerating in space without shedding any mass. This is unheard of. In all of our simulations of cometary behavior, we have never seen anything like this, and this isn't just a single data point. 3 different orbital tracking stations confirmed the same result. There was no venting of gases, no visible debris, and yet the object was speeding up. This creates a paradox. For an object of this size to accelerate without any observable external force is impossible according to the physics we know. And yet, this is exactly what's happening. Now, let's consider the magnitude of this event. The probability of an interstellar object morphing into a perfect ring, stabilizing its spin, and then accelerating without losing any mass, these events happening in the same object within a 1-4-hour window are statistically impossible. The odds are so low, they're virtually zero. It's like flipping a coin and having it land on its edge 10 million times in a row during a hurricane. Statistically, this event should not exist. But here we are, watching it unfold in real time. The data we are collecting is not just improbable, it's impossible by every known model of astrophysics. Think about the magnitude of this anomaly. For 4 million years, astronomers have observed comets. We know their behavior. We know how they break apart, how they fracture when they get too close to the sun. But 3 Atlas isn't doing any of that. It isn't fracturing. It isn't losing mass. It is defying the laws that govern our entire understanding of cometary dynamics. This isn't a comet anymore. This is something entirely new, something that challenges everything we thought we knew about space. And the strangest part? It's not just behaving unpredictably, it's doing so with a kind of precision that seems impossible. If this is not a comet, then what is it? What kind of object behaves this way? And how can something as massive as 3 Atlas, a rogue interstellar object, spontaneously reorganize itself with such exacting symmetry? Every part of this event, the structure, the rotation, the acceleration, defies every rule in the book. The standard models of astrophysics cannot explain it, and yet the data is irrefutable. Something new is happening, something we have never seen before. We are witnessing a cosmic event of extraordinary magnitude, one that may change the course of scientific history. But we're not finished yet. The story is about to take an even stranger turn. The mystery of 3 Atlas deepens with every new observation. By April 3, 2026, we were no longer just looking at a transformed comet. Now, we were witnessing something that defied even the most fundamental principles of astrophysics. As the object's geometry stabilized into a perfect torus shape, new data points began to surface, pointing to even more anomalies. The most striking of these was an unexpected spike in the object's local magnetic field. On April 3rd, at exactly 2015 UTC, NASA's Deep Space Network detected a massive magnetic field surge around 3 Atlas. The strength of the field was a staggering 4.5 microteslas, an intensity far greater than what we would expect from any known comet. And it wasn't just the strength of the field that was troubling, it was the pattern. This was not random radiation or background noise. No, this was something entirely different. The magnetic field was structured, ordered in a way that suggested a source of energy we simply cannot explain. Now, this is where the mystery takes a significant leap. The object, which had already restructured itself into a perfect torus, was also generating its own magnetic field. And the implications of this discovery are mind-blowing. Normally, celestial objects like comets or asteroids do not generate such powerful, organized magnetic fields. They might interact with the solar wind, but they don't create their own fields from within. This is a new phenomenon, something that has never been observed before. And this magnetic field isn't just a passive characteristic of the object, it's actively involved in the object's internal processes. We know that the sun's magnetic field plays a significant role in shaping the behavior of objects within the solar system. It affects the solar wind, which in turn impacts the movement of charged particles around celestial bodies. But 3 Atlas is different. It's not just affected by the sun's field, it's generating its own. This suggests that the object is actively manipulating its environment. It's as if the object is controlling its own field, creating the conditions it needs to continue its transformation. And this raises the stakes even higher. What could possibly be driving this phenomenon? What could generate such a powerful magnetic field in a cometary object that, until recently, was thought to be a simple ice and rock body? At this point, we have to consider the possibility that we are dealing with something far beyond our current understanding of celestial bodies. The data is suggesting that 3 Atlas is not merely a comet, it is something far more complex, something capable of manipulating its environment in ways we cannot yet explain. The magnetic field could be tied to the object's ability to accelerate, its perfect torus shape, and its seemingly self-sustaining energy source. It could be the key to understanding how 3 Atlas is able to remain intact and continue its transformation. But there's another layer to this mystery. As we continue to observe the data, something truly shocking came to light. The object's core is no longer empty. The hollow center of the torus is now actively emitting high-energy plasma. Yes, you heard that right. The very center of 3 Atlas, the part we once thought was a void, is now igniting a continuous loop of high-energy plasma. This plasma loop is contained within the object's own magnetic field, creating a self-sustaining system of ionized particles circulating at speeds that are absolutely mind-boggling. Imagine this: a rogue interstellar object, 240 million kilometers away from Earth, is now functioning as a colossal electromagnetic cyclotron, accelerating ionized particles to 0.14% the speed of light. This is akin to Earth's Large Hadron Collider, but on a scale that is not just unprecedented, it's completely alien. And this isn't a theoretical construct. This is happening right now. 3 independent observatories have verified this phenomenon. NASA confirmed the massive radiation signature. The European Space Agency independently verified the extreme particle velocity, and the ALMA array mapped the perfect magnetic containment of this plasma loop. All 3 sources, using completely different methodologies, arrived at the same astonishing conclusion: 3 Atlas is generating a high-energy plasma cyclotron within its hollow core. This discovery is a game changer. If 3 Atlas is capable of generating this kind of energy, then we are no longer dealing with a passive object moving through space. We are dealing with an active, energy-manipulating system. The question now becomes, how is it generating this energy? And more importantly, what is it trying to do with it? Is this some kind of cosmic anomaly, or are we witnessing the remnants of something far more advanced? What's clear is that this object is not behaving like anything we've ever observed before. The data we've collected challenges the very foundations of our understanding of celestial mechanics and thermodynamics. And the stakes are rising. We are on the verge of a discovery that could rewrite everything we know about the universe. As we close in on the final data, the full implications of 3 Atlas's transformation are becoming clear. What we're witnessing is a complete paradigm shift in our understanding of cosmic phenomena. Every single parameter we've tracked, from the object's perfect geometric shape to its magnetic field, from its stable rotation to its high-energy plasma ignition, has shattered all previous models of astrophysics. The final discovery is nothing short of astonishing. 3 Atlas is not just a comet, it's a functioning interstellar engine. It's manipulating its own trajectory, generating energy, and defying every law of celestial mechanics. If this is an undiscovered natural phenomenon, we are looking at a new state of physics. But if this is something else, an advanced technology or an intentional construct, then we are staring into the depths of a mystery that could change the course of human history forever. Right now, the world's greatest telescopes are trained on 3 Atlas, and in just 48 hours, it will make its closest approach to the Sunday. The clock is ticking. We are about to witness something that will forever alter our understanding of space, technology, and the very nature of the universe. Stay tuned. The future of astrophysics is unfolding before our eyes, and you don't want to miss what happens next.